Good afternoon. On behalf of the Yeager family, the Central Berks Regional Police Department, and the law enforcement community, I would like to thank everyone for joining us today as we gather to honor, celebrate, and remember the life of Officer Kristen Yeager. Kristen graduated from Exeter High School in 2002 before attending Shippensburg University, where she earned both her bachelor's degree in criminal justice and a master's degree in administration of justice. She excelled not only academically, but athletically, helping lead the Shippensburg University field hockey team to its first Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference championship. Her calling to serve others led her to a career in law enforcement. Throughout her career, Kristen faithfully served several police departments throughout Berks County, ultimately serving the citizens of the communities with the Central Berks Regional Police Department. Today, we remember Kristen not for how she died, but for how she lived. We remember her dedication, her courage, her compassion, and the countless lives she touched. As we begin in this service, please rise for the national anthem, performed by Jacinda.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Jacinda. Please take your seats. At this time, it is my honor to introduce the Governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Governor Josh Shapiro. Ladies and gentlemen, the Governor.
Thank you, Detective. I'm honored to have the opportunity to speak to you today as we gather with heavy hearts to remember Officer Kristen Yeager. Thank you for being here to honor the life of a true public servant, someone who put on the uniform each day to protect and serve our communities. I stand before you with a profound gratitude for all of the people who are gathered here today to support Kristen's family in this dark moment. I especially want to acknowledge Chief Johnson and Officer Yeager's fellow officers from the Central Berks Regional Police Department and all of the other police departments and law enforcement agencies represented here today. We appreciate you and we salute your service. I know that your presence here today gives great comfort to Officer Yeager's family. I also know this tragedy impacts not just Officer Yeager's family at home, but each of you, her family at work. On behalf of Colonel Bivens, Lieutenant Colonel King, and the more than 6,000 strong Pennsylvania State Police family, please know that we are here for you, and we salute your service, and we offer you prayers of strength. I've had the fortune of getting to know Kristen's family a bit over the last 2 weeks. To Kevin, thank you for sharing your beautiful memories of your sister with me. To Dustin, Tanner, Connor, and Carly, my wife Lori and I extend our heartfelt prayers to each and every one of you. I'm privileged to be in your presence and humbled that you asked me to honor the memory of your wife, your mother, your sister, your beloved Kristen. When I spoke to Kevin last week, I so appreciated that he took the time to fight through the pain in his heart to tell me about his sister. As I listened to Kevin's stories, it struck me that love was the guiding force in Kristen's life. Love of her family, especially Tanner and Connor and Carly, and love of this community, a community that she served as a police officer. Community leadership and public service run deep in the family. Her father, the late Kenneth Hoke Jr., was a lifetime member of the Exeter Township Fire Company. He was taken from us just a few months ago. That example led Kristen to take up the mantle of service and protection in another way, as a police officer. After she graduated from the Reading Police Academy, Kristen served in several Berks County Police Departments, most recently with the Central Berks Regional Police Department for the last 2.5 years. Every day, she put on the uniform and badge, kissed her kids goodbye, and left home to protect and serve her neighbors. That is how she lived, showing up for her community, demonstrating that love, keeping people safe, and doing what she was so good at. While her life was cut way too short, her impact on this community and all of us will be lasting. Kristen grew up in a family that made serving others a priority, and she stayed true to those values throughout her entire life. Kristen had a servant's heart, and she passes that on to her children as part of her legacy. All of us gathered here today have a collective responsibility to ensure that more people learn about Kristen and her life of service. Some will learn about her because of what is said here today at the high school that she graduated from. Some will learn about her when they see the flags I've ordered to fly at half-staff to honor her life of service and sacrifice when Somewhere here in Berks County today, a child will look up at a parent and ask why that flag is not at the top of the pole. And hopefully that parent will teach them about Kristen, teach them about how we honor police officers in life and in death. They'll learn about a true public servant, and they'll learn about the courage and compassion and heart that it takes to be a police officer. As your governor, I am grateful for Kristen's service and the service of every law enforcement official in this Commonwealth. And as a father of 4, my heart breaks for the Yeager family. Tanner, Carly, Connor, your mommy was a real hero, a real hero. She did something that not everyone has the courage or the bravery to do. She was strong and she was tough. And you know better than anyone else, she was loving with all of her heart. Your mom's going to be looking down on you on the sidelines of a game, and I know you guys play a lot of different sports. She's going to be on your shoulder, and she's going to be at your side, and she's going to have your back. I know that may seem hard to understand, and it's going to take a while to realize, but your mom is always going to be there for you. To the entire Yeager family, you now join another tight-knit, loving family that never wanted to be brought together, but are bound by the pain of losing a loved one in the cause of service. That family extends to every corner of our Commonwealth, and it's made up of too many good people who have lost a loved one in the line of duty. Today, we make the same promise to you that we've made to others, that if your family needs anything in the next day, the next month, the next year, the next decade, we will all be there for you. We make that promise because of the debt we owe to Kristen and to all law enforcement officers. We can never take for granted those who enforce the law and those who protect us, the brave women and men who keep watch while our families sleep and provide comfort and peace, knowing that help is just a phone call away. We must continue to take time, not just today, but every day, to remember and reflect on the fact that policing is a noble profession. Those who take on this incredibly difficult task of protecting our communities deserve our deep respect and our profound gratitude. Officers like Kristen Yeager run and drive toward danger when their fellow citizens and others go the other way. They protect all of us. And to those like Officer Yeager and their loved ones who make the ultimate sacrifice, we owe a debt that we can never repay, but one that we have a responsibility to always meet. So let us honor her memory. Let us support her brothers and sisters in blue. Let us be there for those she leaves behind. May God offer you refuge and strength in these difficult times. May God bless all those who put on the uniform every day to serve our communities. May God bless the Yeager family and all the family and friends who hold Kristen dear. May you find comfort and strength in this time of mourning. And may Officer Kristen Yeager's memory forever be a blessing.
Thank you, Governor Shapiro, for your words and for joining us today. At this time, it's my honor to introduce Senator Tracy Pennycook and Senator Judy Swank.
To the Yeager family, on behalf of the Pennsylvania Senate, myself, and Senator Schwank, we have a condolence resolution as well as a condolence citation that will keep your wife's memory always in Pennsylvania's history. Her legacy will live on in the PA Bulletin with the establishment of this condolences, our deepest condolences.
Thank you, Senators. Please welcome Reverend Paul Jones and Reverend Bob Turner, who will lead us in prayer.
Our prayer this afternoon is in the form of the 23rd Psalm. It's a translation that you might be familiar with, or you might hear it in a different way, but Pastor Bob and I, in consultation, thought that many faith traditions hold true to this source of comfort, courage, and direction. Psalm 23, You, Lord, are my shepherd. I will never be in need. You let me rest in fields of green grass. You lead me to streams of peaceful water, and you refresh my life. You are true to your name, and you lead me along the right paths. I may walk through valleys as dark as death, but I will not be afraid.
You are with me, and your shepherd's rod makes me feel safe. You treat me to a feast while my enemies watch. You honor me as your guest, and you fill my cup until it overflows. Your kindness and love will always be with me each day of my life, and I will live forever in your house, Lord. Good afternoon. My name is Reverend Bob Turner, and I'm the pastor of Community United Church of Christ in St. Lawrence Borough. I've been asked to give on this day of mourning a message of hope from a perspective of faith. The first question that arises on such an occasion is, where does one find hope in a tragic event such as a car accident that kills a dedicated public servant, a wife, sister, and friend, and a mother of 3? How does one speak in this moment a word of hope or even comfort to Dustin and Carly, Tanner, and Connor, to Kristen's brother Kevin, and the other members of the Hauk and Yeager families, and to a community rocked by this loss? How does one speak of hope in this moment without coming off as maudlin or saccharine or hollowly pious? What this moment conjures is pain and anger and desperation and emptiness, not hope. And we need to sit with these feelings for a time, not to deny them or sweep them under the rug, not to turn too quickly to words of false solace, but truly to feel our feelings. Don't deny it if you feel angry with God. Don't deny it if you feel betrayed and barren, or if you doubt that you will be able to drag yourself out of bed in the morning to face another day without the one you love. Don't deny the sadness, the pain, the rage, the numbness, whatever it is you are feeling, because the only path through this intolerable tragedy is to acknowledge those feelings and really feel them. It will be hard, but repressing those feelings is far worse in the long run. Feel your feelings. But I have nevertheless been given the task of speaking a word of hope today. So all I can suggest is that you hold on to these words until a time comes when you can really hear them. This may not be, in fact, it almost certainly is not that time. But someday you may be ready for a word of hope, and I hope that on that day you will remember what I have to say today. First, God did not cause, engineer, or wish for Kristen's death. God is always on the side of life. Always. Second, God is as deeply affected by this loss as you are. God is not aloof and uncaring, but rather intimately involved in the joys and griefs of God's children. God feels not only your devastation, but also God's own. Kristen is, after all, God's child. Third, in the Christian Bible, what is usually called the New Testament, the Apostle Paul, in a letter to one of the churches he founded, calls God the God of all consolation, and declares that God consoles us in all our affliction, so that we may be able to console those who are in any affliction with the consolation with which we ourselves are consoled by God. That kind of convoluted sentence means that we have not only God, but also people we can see and hear and touch to care for us in our affliction. It means we have the privilege and responsibility to carry God's love to our friends and neighbors in their time of suffering. The scars we earn in the battles of life become signs and signals of grace. Fourth, as the psalm Pastor Paul and I shared with you a few moments ago says, God is our shepherd. A shepherd's whole job is to guard the flock, to keep the sheep from harm and lead them to places where they can find clear water and good green grass. When one gets hurt, the shepherd binds up its wound. When one goes astray, the shepherd goes to look for it and searches diligently until she finds it. Then she lifts the lamb onto her shoulders and returns rejoicing to the sheepfold. In another part of the New Testament, Jesus calls himself the Good Shepherd. In our tradition, we believe that Jesus is the incarnation of God, so that statement is a reiteration of Psalm 23. Jesus is a trustworthy shepherd, and so we can count on God to watch over the flock as well. When you think about it, Kristen and her colleagues in the police and the fire department, as well as EMTs and other first responders, are like shepherds too. The often stated goal of police officers is to protect and serve, and that matches the job description of a good and conscientious shepherd exactly. It is important and poignant to note that Kristen was responding to a call when she lost her life. I don't know what kind of crisis required her attention and care, but I'm almost sure that every time an officer or firefighter or paramedic goes out on a call, they feel a sense of uncertainty. What am I going to find when I get to the scene of the incident? What kind of reception will I receive? What kind of craziness and violence can I expect? Is this the call I won't come back from? What made Kristen a good shepherd was that even if she had these questions and felt these fears, she went anyway. She was committed to the motto to protect and serve, and we, the members of her flock, are forever grateful. My word of hope to you this afternoon, then, is that just as we have good shepherds all around us, not just first responders, but also teachers, medical professionals, counselors, public servants, and dare I say, members of the clergy, who are also committed to protecting and serving. And the even better news, the far greater source of hope, is that we have a good shepherd with a capital G and a capital S, who is always on the job, always looking out for us sheep, healing our hurts, seeking us when we stray, leading us into green pastures and beside still waters, and drying every tear from our eyes. Even when we walk through life's darkest valleys, our good shepherd is there to protect and serve. Thanks be to God. And here now, as I conclude, some other words of hope in this sublime expression of God's love from the New Testament book of Romans. Who will separate us from the love of Christ? Will affliction or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? No, in all these things we are more than victorious through him who loved us. For I am convinced that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor rulers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor powers, nor height, nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God in Christ Jesus our Lord. Amen.
As you're well aware, it's pretty warm out here. Give the officers 1 second. Thank you, officers. If you want to shake it out for a second and stretch your legs before we continue. Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Turner. Please welcome Reverend Paul Jones as he shares reflections on Kristen's life.
Thank you, Lieutenant, for offering folks a little chance to catch their breath a little bit and shake things out. I was going to ask us to just pause for a minute, and you've already done that. Thank you.
His mother was a fool. His father was a mule. From this you may deduce their offspring is a goose. Oh, Mother, how could you? Easy. Oh, sweetheart. I am sorry, but I did warn you. Darren, you be careful what you say. Mother speaks perfect goose. Oh, Darren, calm down. Now, you know very well that Mother will be along any minute to change you back. I'll tell you what I'll do, just to keep you happy till Mother arrives.
Lady Godiva was a freedom rider. She didn't care if the whole world looked. Joan of Arc with the Lord to guide her. She was a sister who really cooked. Isadora was the first Roberta, Angel Black, she showed up. Oh, yeah! And when the country was falling apart, Betsy Ross got it all sewed up. And then there's Maud. 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 That uncompromising, enterprising, anything but tranquilizing. Right on, Maud.
Has anybody heard from old Walter yet?
Oh, not yet. Nobody knows where he is.
Boy, it's hard to believe old Walter's gonna be 53.
I know.
I just hope that when I'm 53, I look as good as he does.
You did. Vivian, is the cake ready?
Yes, but where's our birthday boy? He's gonna miss his own surprise party. Oh, I called the store. They said he left at 4 o'clock. Mother, it's almost 6 o'clock.
Oh, come on, you two. You know Walter. He can never tear himself away from anybody he happens to be talking to. You know, customers, supermarket clerks, the man at the newsstand. I mean, he's always been that way. That's why tonight's party is going to be the biggest surprise I've ever given Walter. Except on our honeymoon. No, I invited all these people tonight because these are the people that Walter stops and talks to. These are the real friends of Friendly Findlays.
Oh, that's a sweet, generous gesture.
I know. They eat like horses.
Well, I know Muller, the butcher, and Art from Art's service station, but who are the rest of these people?
Oh, well, Carol, I don't know everybody, although I do know most of them. Oh, Harry! Harry, my daughter Carol. This is Harry Devlin, Walter's auto mechanic.
Oh, hello.
Walter adores your grease jobs.
And I adore him. He's one of Tuckahoe's greats.
Oh, Harry? And that's Jerry Financio, Walter's druggist. And that's the pharmacist's mate.
Jerry's wife.
No, Jerry's mate. Jerry's wife goes with the dry cleaner. Do you know who that is? That is Hazel M. Hathaway.
The Hazel M. Hathaway who writes tales from your Tuckahoe Tattler and just hates everybody? I love her.
Beneficiaries of her service. What you might not know is this might not have happened at all. To someone of a lesser spirit, during her college years, Kristen was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin lymphoma. She needed chemotherapy to combat the disease. The treatment would sap her energy. The treatment would make her susceptible to bruising. And with that disease and exhausting treatment, a lesser spirit might sit out a year, or maybe just hang up the hockey stick and call it quits. Yeah, quit wasn't in her vocabulary, was it? Yeah, it might sound trite, might sound trivial. That gal ain't quitting. She was not going to be on the sidelines. She wasn't put on earth to sit the bench. She wasn't going to take a year off. She was going to play. Somehow, some way. She was going to play field hockey. And play she did. Play she did. How did that happen? Before every game, more importantly, before every practice, teammates, friends, some family members would wrap her up in pads so she would be protected. And she practiced every practice, and she played every game. She was not going to sit on the sidelines. She was part of a team, and she was going to contribute. And boy, did she contribute. As we heard, she was a starting defender and helped to lead the Shippensburg field hockey team to its first Pennsylvania State Athletic Championship. A legacy of determination, of courage, commitment to others, willing sacrifice, perseverance, grit, moxie, call it what you may. The great passion and deep heart of Officer Kristen M. Yeager. Characteristics she lived every day of her way too short life. We have been truly blessed and greatly blessed by the way Kristen lived her life. What an inspiration. What a role model. Indeed. Folks are looking up to her. Certainly, our world would benefit from more Kristens. It is heartbreaking to think she is no longer among us in a physical way. It's heartbreaking to think that there will be no more new memories of Mom getting dirty on the side-by-sides with Tanner and Connor and Carly. It's heartbreaking to see the empty chair at the kitchen table for Dustin. Heartbreaking to think that Aunt Kristen won't be with Kevin and Brooke cheering on Quinn and the nephew about to be born. Heartbreaking that Kristen will be missing Yeager and Hauk family celebrations. Heartbreaking that Kristen will no longer be reporting for duty to a job, to a calling she loved, with her fellow officers that were much more than just colleagues. They were true family. When you come to her desk at Central Berks PD, when you get to her certain area that was hers, the first thing you see is this: the first loves of her life. They are pictures of you, Tanner, Connor, and Carly. Yes, Tanner, Connor, Carly, your mom loved her job, and you know that. But please remember this: she loved you so much more than being a police officer, and she will forever love you. So much more could be said about Kristen, but that's going to be up to you now. Tell of her influence on you. Speak her name as you remember how she coached you. Give thanks for the ways in which she mentored you. Tell of the deep bonds that you share as neighbors, as friends, as teammates, as fellow officers, as family. Speak of the blessings you have received through God's gift of Officer Kristen M. Yeager. For now, we will have to say, well done, good and faithful servant. Thank you, Officer Kristen M. Yeager. We are deeply blessed.
Thank you, Reverend Jones. It's now my honor to introduce the Chief of Police of Central Berks Regional Police Department, Chief Justin Johnson. Chief Johnson served alongside Kristen and knew firsthand the dedication, professionalism, and compassion she brought to this profession every day. Chief Johnson.
Good afternoon. Today we gather to honor the life, service, and sacrifice of Officer Kristen Yeager. On behalf of Kristen's family and the Central Berks Regional Police Department, I want to thank everyone here for the tremendous outpouring of support. Fellow officers, first responders, Governor Shapiro, community leaders, and community members. Thank you for being here as we honor Kristen's life and acknowledge that she died doing what she believed in, serving others and protecting her community. As I stand here, my heart is heavy over the loss of Kristen, not only for myself, but for the men and women of our entire department, our partner agencies, and the community. But most of all, my heart is heavy for Kristen's family, her brother Kevin and his family, and her husband Dustin and their 3 beautiful children, Tanner, Connor, and Carly. The pain they must be feeling is unimaginable for a life lost too soon. Kristen has been part of our family for about 2.5 years. In that time, she quickly made a reputation for herself. She was a go-getter, very goal-oriented. If there was a task to achieve or justice to be served, she was going to get it done. There are countless criminals who would attest to her tenacity. But that tough side was balanced out by her softer side. The side where she would counsel a family through a difficult situation or spend extra time with a child who simply needed encouragement from a positive role model. That community engagement was something that was very important to her, whether it was as a police officer, a youth coach, or a volunteer in the schools. Everyone knew her and looked up to her. No matter where we were in the community, someone would always mention that they knew Kristen, either as an officer, a dedicated mother, a friend, or a past classmate at this very school where we gather today. Conversely, I've been with this department for over 25 years, and people still tell me they've never seen me before and ask me if I'm new to the force. I point to the gray hair and insist that I'm not a rookie. But Kristen's unwavering dedication to her community made her beloved and well known to all. Last week, Kristen's brother told me that he felt she found a home with Central Berks. I couldn't agree more. She will always have a home with us, and her family will always be part of our family. We will stand beside her family in the months and years ahead. We will honor her legacy, not only with words, but through our actions and our commitment to never forget her. We will make sure her children know she was a hero and that she gave the ultimate sacrifice by dedicating her life to serving and protecting others. They say the measure of a life is not in its duration, but in its donation. Kristen, you served with honor, dedication, and courage. You gave everything for the people you swore to protect. Thank you for your service, your friendship, your compassion, and your sacrifice. We will carry your memory with us always. Rest in peace.
Detail, attention, shoot! Telegraph, up and go!
Berks Officer Kristen Yeager. Berks to Officer Kristen Yeager. Berks to Officer Kristen Yeager. Unit 2399, Berks.
Berks, 2399.
2399, no response from Officer Yeager.
Berks, please take Officer Yeager out of service.
Receipt 2399, Officer Yeager out of service. This is the final call for Officer Kristen Yeager, badge number 101 of the Central Berks Regional Police Department. On May 29, 2026, Officer Yeager was killed in the line of duty. She faithfully served the citizens of Lower Houses Township, Mount Penn Borough, St. Lawrence Borough, and Lake Township for 2.5 years with courage, honor, and dedication. Officer Yeager, you have answered your final call. Your watch has ended. You are now out of service for the final time. Rest in peace. Berks clear, 0912.
On behalf of the Yeager family and the Central Berks Regional Police Department, thank you for being here today and for your support you have shown during this difficult time. To our law enforcement officers, firefighters, EMS personnel, and all those who traveled to honor Kristen, thank you for standing with us. All gates are now open. You may leave out at any exit. Please travel safely.